Namaskaram friends. So in this video, I am going to talk about presidency of G20 countries. So presidency of G20 country is rotate every year, and each country which are a member of G20 have a, you can say, membership chairmanship in one or other year. Okay, because this is a rotating chairmanship, or you can say presidency of G20 is a rotating in nature, and each year it is rotating. So in 2023, India is, you can say, hosting the G20 member country. That means presidency of G20 is come to India in 2023. We know that in 2020 Indonesia hosts the G20 member. So when an agenda or any policies are made or topics chosen on which we made an agenda and policy for G20, so it is the previous presidency, a country which hold the presidency of G20 in the previous year, current year, and the future year. These three member countries sit together and set the agenda for G20 countries. So in this, you can say, in 2022 or 2023, why presidency of G20 is significant? Because we know that in 2021, Brazil is the chairman. Brazil is the president of G20. In 2022, Indonesia, and in 2023, India. So all these countries, Brazil, Indonesia, and India, is a developing country. So this is significant because these in 2023 or in 2022, these three members, uh, these three members set the agenda of world issues of the important issues of the world. So it is important because developing countries are also able to raise their issue because presidency is come. These three countries decide the agenda of the G20 because presidency of previous, current, and future has come to these three developing countries. That's why it is presidency of G20 important. Earlier, see, in G20 there are 19 countries and one European Union. So each country have a presidency in some year or other. But this year is significant because this is the first time. This is the first time all the three trio which set the agenda of G20 are developing countries: Brazil, Indonesia, and India. So in this video, I am going to talk about the importance of G20, importance of presidency, and how this presidency come from one country to another country, and what are the role of leaders who have the presidency right or hosting the G20 members. So now I am going to talk about very briefly about it. So first of all, G20 is a premier forum for international economic cooperation. Remember, G20 is a premium forum for international economic cooperation, representing around 85% of the global GDP, 75% of the global trade, and two-thirds of the world population. Very important. Premier forum of international economic cooperation, IEC. 85% of global GDP, 75% of global trade, and two-thirds of the world population. Next one is the presidency of G20 rotates every year. Remember, every year among members and the country holding the presidency. Let's say currently Indonesia is holding the presidency. So country holding the presidency together with the previous and next presidency holder. That means in previous we know that Brazil, and next we know that India form the troika troika to ensure continuity of the G20 agenda. So to ensure the continuity of the G20 agenda, country who hold the presidency together with the previous and next presidency holder form a troika. Okay, remember troika. Who form the troika? Country holding the presidency together with the previous and next presidency holder. That means present one, past one, and the future one. All these three countries form the troika, which ensure the continuity of the G20 agenda. During India's presidency, India, Indonesia, and Brazil will form the troika. I'm sorry, I think Brazil is a future. In earlier video, I talked about Brazil is a previous one. During India's presidency, India, Indonesia, and Brazil will form the troika. Because during India presidency, India is the current one, Indonesia is the previous one, and Brazil is the future one. So these three countries form the troika. I'm sorry for telling that Brazil is a previous one, Indonesia is a current one, and India is a future one. No, India is a present one, Indonesia is a past one, and Brazil is a future one. This would be the first time when the troika would consist of three developing countries and emerging economies. First time troika, because you know that Brazil, Indonesia, and India. Or I say Indonesia, India, and Brazil, IIB. These three are developing countries and emerging economies. So it is the first time when the troika would consist of the three developing countries and emerging economies. And why it is significant? Because this troika ensure the continuity of the G20 agenda. So whatever agenda set in G20 is the responsibility of this troika, and this troika are the developing country and emerging economy. That's why it is important. Next one is the G20 has no permanent secretariat. G20 has no permanent secretariat. The agenda and work are coordinated by representative of G20 countries. So whatever agenda set in G20 membership, G20 grouping, and work are coordinated by the representative of the G20 country. Their representative coordinate the agenda of G20, known as the Sherpas. So these are known as Sherpas. So representative of the G20 country who coordinate the agenda and work of G20 are known as Sherpa, who work together with the finance ministers and governor of the central bank. So remember, Sherpa work together with the finance minister and governor of the central bank, and who are the Sherpa who coordinate the agenda and work of G20 country and represented by the and it is represented by the representative of G20 country. Important, Sherpa, finance minister, governor of the central bank. India has announced that ex-Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant will be the G20 Sherpa after Piyush Goyal. Okay, so I think say currently in Indonesia, Piyush Goyal is the Sherpa, and in 2023, ex-Niti Aayog chairman Amitabh Kant is the Sherpa of G20 membership of 2023, G20 meeting of 2023. So ex-Niti Aayog CEO Amitabh Kant is the G20 Sherpa after Piyush Goyal. Okay. So I hope you understand the whole idea of G20 presidency. Remember, important point: India is the uh, India holding the presidency of G20 in 2023. Currently, Indonesia is holding, and in future, Brazil is holding. And all these three countries are emerging economies and developing countries. And these three countries form a troika, which ensure the continuity of the agenda of G20, and also Sherpa, who you can say coordinate the work and agenda of G20 and represented by the member country of G20 or called Sherpa. It is represented by the representative of G20 countries called Sherpa, and they work together with finance minister and governor of the central bank. So these are important points. And also G20 represent 85% of the global GDP, 75% of the global trade, and two-thirds of the world population. And it is the International Economic Cooperation Forum, premier forum of International Economic Cooperation, IEC. So I hope you understand the whole idea of G20 and its presidency. And its presidency rotates every year within their members. So now we are going to solve one question based on G20 presidency. In this picture, you can clearly see flag of some countries of G20: Saudi Arabia, I think France, Japan, Iran. This one is Iran, but we know that Iran is not part of a G20. Yeah. So no, just remember the name here: Argentina, Australia, Brazil, Canada, China, France, Germany, India, Indonesia, Italy. Something is there: Japan, Mexico, Russia, Saudi Arabia, South Africa, Turkey, United Kingdom, European Union, and United States. So in continent wise, when you go continent wise, so in North America, Canada, USA, Mexico; in South America, Brazil, Argentina; in Europe, France, Germany, Italy, UK, and one European Union. Then in Middle East, Turkey, Saudi Arabia; in Africa, South Africa. When you go to east side, so in Northern Asia, Russia; in South Asia, India; in Southeast Asia, Indonesia; in East Asia, China, Japan, South Korea; in Australia continent, Australia. And so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and 2 is left. 2 countries are left, I think. So Japan, this, Australia, Indonesia. 2 to 4, 7, 10, 15, and 15, 20. Yeah. So these 20 members form the G20 members. So now we are going to solve one question based on it. Consider the following statement regarding G20 grouping. First one is G20 has no permanent secretariat. Yes, this statement is correct. Second statement is G20 represent around 85% of the global GDP. Yes, about 2/3 of the world population. Yes, this statement is also correct. The presidency of G20 rotates every 3 years. No, every year, not every 3 years, every year. So this statement is wrong. That means statement 1 and 2 is correct. So our option is A. Just check we are on the right path or not. Option A is correct. That means we are on the right path. So I hope you love this video, you enjoy this video and gain some perspective, some knowledge out of it. So namaskaram. Thank you.